That's crazy, because love is supposed to conquer all. It took a community like what we have here. It took drug court and AA and friends and recovery coaches and therapy to give me love to conquer my addiction. And so I'm so happy to be in recovery today. I could sit here and tell you all the amazing things that came back to me and where I was at. And none of that really matters at the end of the day, because all I have to say is that I'm sober today, and that's what matters. I mean, everything else will fall into place. So thank you very much. Hand that over to Mike.
Okay, so to skip a little bit of this right now, so I don't have to tell the whole story of where I come from. This is kind of where I was in 2011. And it says right here, my driver's license. So I was out trying to get a driver's license to drive around a 4,000-pound loaded bomb. That scares me today to see this, but I also keep this in my glove compartment in my car to remind me. I'll sometimes skip through there looking for something and see this, and it's just another reminder of why I do what I do. I remember on a shirt for the United Face Addiction, it's by our silence, we let others define who we are. And I think that's why I do what I do, because I keep reminding myself, by our silence, we let others define who I am or who I am. Just because I'm in recovery doesn't mean I don't have a fulfilling life today. I am that recovering heroin addict that said I never will get clean. I used opiates. I got hurt in a construction accident, and I used for over 25 years. I was up to 40 biking in a day if I get my hands on it. Otherwise, I was sick from withdrawals, viciously sick. And when it got so expensive, I decided one pack of heroin would last all day, and that lasted for about a week, and now I'm up to 12 packs of heroin a day. That's the reality of this. But I'm not going to talk about this for a long time, because I'm talking about how wonderful life is. That's what this is about, celebration recovery today, and how wonderful my life is today. You've seen that picture, and you see me now, and that was 11 years ago. So it tells us we can change. It tells us there is a new life. I thought there was no hope for me. As soon as I got stuck in the court system, I thought my life was over. Why? Because I just lost my best friend, which is my drugs. And that was the biggest lie ever. My addiction told my brain that it needed me and I needed it to survive, or to be happy, or to fix problems, or find solutions for everything in life. And the cleaner I got, the longer I got, the things started changing in my head to where things started making sense, and I started laughing a little, giggling a little bit. And by the way, I am the president of the Allen Oak Club Addiction Recovery Center, and that's where my world started and changed, in those rooms right there. You guys are experiencing what I'm experiencing. We, in a meeting, or sometimes we'll all shake our heads when someone talks, because we have empathy and we understand the struggles, but we also understand the rewards and the gifts and all the wonderful things in life now that we're in recovery. That's what this celebration is, and that's what recovery is all about, is doing these things we do now. And what a miracle, man. We are so lucky. We are so lucky just to be able to get up and breathe the air we breathe. And it's that easy for me today. I can make a mountain of molehills there, problems, and it's okay today. It's okay. I'm going to have problems. I'm going to have struggles. But one of my struggles is not going to be drugs and alcohol today. So grateful. Yeah. So hey, we're going to move along. So I'm going to introduce my first our guest speaker, Angie. Can you want to start heading this way, young lady? I met this lady 2 years ago. Part of this is Overdose Awareness Month for August, and that's the ugly side of this, but it's the reality. Calhoun County has some of the highest overdose rates in Michigan, and I want to hear. You've got to understand this part of the struggle. So, Angie.
So yes, as he said, my name is A.G. Fairchild, and I am here in honor of our son, Alan, who unfortunately lost his battle with drugs on September 7th, 2018. Overall, Alan was a very good, kind-hearted person. He loved people. He would bend over backwards for people. He would give me the shirt off his back. However, when he was 15, he started getting into the drug scene. And that lasted for about 10 years. And then finally, out of the blue, he decided he couldn't take it anymore, and so he wanted to admit himself into rehab, and so he did that. And he was in rehab for several months, and as a family, we all just automatically assumed once he got out of rehab, he was going to be okay. Again, we were pretty blinded to the whole drug scene. He really didn't live with us, so we didn't see it all the time. But we did see enough, obviously. It was 10 years of hell for us as a family. But he did get out of rehab, and again, we thought he was doing good. And then 3 weeks later, unfortunately, he passed away from a drug overdose. And that changed our world as a family. We'll never be the same. However, we do know someday we are going to see him again, because we know he is in heaven with the Lord. Thankfully, as a child, he accepted Christ as his Savior. And so we have that to look forward to someday. But like I said, we as a family were very blinded to it and didn't know. He wouldn't really talk to us even when he got home from rehab. He didn't say a whole lot. However, he had told his younger sister that he had wrote a letter while he was in rehab. And he said he didn't have it finished yet, but he told her once he got it finished, he wanted her to be the first one to read this letter. And within a couple hours after he passed away, she found his letter and brought it out to the living room where we were all sitting, and we read the letter. And because of this letter, it definitely helped us understand more of what he went through. So I'm going to just share that letter with you. Dear Addiction, where to even begin? Our relationship has been one hell of a roller coaster. In the beginning, it sounded fun. I thought you were something I wanted to experience, or you were something I needed to enjoy life. And at first, it kind of was fun. The high was fun, the lifestyle was a rush, and you gave me a sense of security. But oh, how false that was. At first, the bad didn't come with the good. You allowed me to bury my emotions and have a false sense of happiness. You made pain, heartache, sadness, and loneliness seem irrelevant, because I always had you to fall back on. At first, you were just something I thought I needed when things were getting tough. But the longer our relationship went on, the more you convinced me I needed you, and the more dependent I became. I no longer needed you as just an escape, but as a means to deal with everyday life. I forgot how to handle any part of my life without you. I became numb and no longer remembered how to handle any emotion, good or bad, without you. Somehow, this was okay though, because I didn't want to feel I needed you to make me numb to justify the things in life I was doing that I knew I shouldn't be doing. I became so obsessed with you that I began to put you above everything else. I buried my morals, virtues, and the things I valued to continue our relationship because I had become so dependent. I couldn't imagine how I could live life without you. I wasn't blind to all the harm you were causing. I just didn't care because you became the most important thing in my life. I've watched you ruin so much. You have affected the lives of so many people in my life that also were in a relationship with you. I've seen you take the lives of people I loved and cared about. You destroyed the lives of people who without you could accomplish great things. I've seen you lead people to make decisions that they can never come back from. Decisions that have negatively changed their lives forever. But even watching you cause all this death, heartache, and tragedy, you still had me convinced with the great lie that I was still in control and I could leave you behind if I wanted. I just wasn't ready. Oh, what a fool I've been. This relationship only has a few outcomes, and none of them are good. It's crazy though, the worse things get, the more I begin to lie still and betray to continue our relationship, the stronger it actually got. I knew I was hurting loved ones who loved me unconditionally. I knew I was risking my life and my freedom for you, and yet our bond was so strong that I turned to you even more to be able to be numb and emotions I knew I should be feeling, to numb the guilt, the shame, and regret for the choices I made and the things I did to continue our relationship. I gotta say, you played your hand well, and eventually you had me right where I said I would never be. I became so dependent on you that the repercussions of the actions I chose to continue in our relationship didn't matter to me anymore. And that's where the letter had ended. And I just want to say now that us as a family, like I said, at the time, we were clueless. We didn't know there was all these places out here to go to for help. We had no clue. And so I just thank all these places for doing what you do. And us as a family are trying our best now to be able to help anybody in any way we can who's going through this, and help them find, some kind of hope. And there is hope out there. There's plenty of hope. And if you would like a copy of his letter, it is over there at our little memory tree. So there's plenty. If you'd like to take a couple, I would love for you to take one or two or whatever. Thank you.